Welcome to another episode of Trek in the Valley, the non-encyclopedic Star Trek The Next Generation recap and rewatch podcast, where every week myself, Adam Ordahl Quinnell, and my co-host...
Hey everybody, it's Al Hirt. What's up?
Mr. Al Hirt and I, we get together and we discuss an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, and we used to both be in the San Fernando Valley, and now we are not, so the title only makes half sense, but I am not changing it ever. Even if I move somewhere else, this is the podcast. So how's it going, Al?
It could be better. I mean, I've been a little sick, but I've recovered. I don't know exactly what it was. It was just like a typical flu, sore throat.
Did you take a COVID test?
Head. No, actually, I didn't.
Yeah, so it's COVID then. Yeah,
I know. I mean, I could only assume.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't gotten anybody else sick, and like, I felt kind of reckless because we paid for this sumo and sushi event.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it was so ridiculous, dude. It was like, I think it was like 60 or $50. No sushi. And then with sushi, it was like 80 or 90 or something.
So only $40 for sushi?
Yeah, I was like, so $40. So they must be constantly giving you sushi, or like just giving you like what's in the bag.
Well, no, sushi... $40 is actually very cheap for a lot of sushi. So like, I think that
like we didn't know exactly where the costs would come in, you know, and then it was like there was no information. I mean, I'm sure if you looked into it.
Wait, where did you go? Did you go?
Yeah, I ended up going.
Okay, so what was it? Tell me about this. I'm more. Let me just explain it.
Interesting.
The more interesting part of this story is what happens at the sushi and sumo thing, not like you getting the emails from the place that did or didn't have the information. So what was the actual event so like?
I don't know. Like the actual event was good. It was just like, I guess the way they presented it in the email and everything, I don't know. It just seemed like a totally different shtick. There was a lot of people there too. It was at this like fairgrounds that were like really spread out and big, and it was cold out that night, and there was enough room in like the stage where we were that you felt a breeze. But there was like a lot of people there. And what was interesting was that we thought it was just going to be straight sumo, like event, match. But they did this thing instead where they like introduced like what sumo was. They brought out all the fighters. They showed us different techniques, different takedowns.
So it was like a sumo. It was like a sumo educational course. Well, that's smart though, because
I think that's what, it's
smart though because better. Like a bunch of Americans, fucking dummies. They don't know what sumo is, so they just
the lines to get in. There's a tarp that said sumo and sushi, and the other tarp just said just sumo, and people didn't know which line to go in either. So yeah, they definitely needed an explanation.
So you were eating sushi outside at like a fairground?
No, we didn't sign up for the sushi.
Oh, you just did sumo.
In our party, some people in our party didn't like sushi, so we were like,
well, I mean,
people who do, we'll just eat before or something, you know?
Well,
and we all just had dinner together before.
But like, you know, sushi, I even if you like sushi, I don't know if you want to eat it like outside at a fairground. Like, were they under a tent? Like, you don't want raw.
It was all included. It was strange. So you walk in and like they have you walk in with your full party immediately. So then you can get your seats, and then you can leave and enter outside a certain exit. So then that way people weren't like doing assigned seating or whatever. But once you sat there, there was like a row of three rows or 4 rows of chairs in front of us, like surrounding the sumo stage. And those were all like restaurant tables with like the sushi wasn't laid out yet, but everybody would sit there and then there'd be waiters running around. And I was like, what
Okay.
if you're in like the splash zone or something, you know?
Well,
like,
and
some
I just
sweat
wanna
gets on your
be-
sushi.
I just want to be clear. This is happening outside, correct?
Oh, no,
like
no. It's like in this weird little fairground dome area that they have.
So if it were like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, if it were to rain, would you have gotten wet?
No.
Okay, so there's a roof.
It was enclosed. Yeah.
I thought
But
this
it
was
so
like an
massive
arena.
that there
So,
was still a breeze.
so what I
was so
see,
weird.
so what I was imagining was like, you know, where like the demolition derby happens at the state fair.
yeah.
Like I thought that they set up like a sumo stage in the middle of that with like
what we were
tables around it. But no, there's a roof, so you
it was
wouldn't get
legit.
rain
Yeah.
in the sushi if it were to rain.
No, it wasn't anything like that.
Dude, could
I
you
know, and I
see
was just
the-
like, what an odd place to eat it. I don't know. It was like,
Could you see the sushi chefs preparing the sushi?
no. That was the
Well,
other
what
thing.
the fuck, dude?
I
It's
know.
like they should have had the sushi bar set up around the thing so that it's like sushi chefs in the front row.
Yeah,
Wow.
and it's like the waiters were probably doing most of the work, right? Because it's like they're walking in and out and they're like interrupting.
It's usually how restaurants.
You know, it's like it's hard to watch something while that's going on. So I'm kind of glad we didn't get the
Well,
sushi.
yeah.
Because it felt kind of like this whole gimmicky thing. I think it was like they want the fight to be so expensive for then you to be like, oh, well, just get sushi then, you know?
Well, people do
But it was a good
eat.
time.
People do eat at other entertainment events.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
like
I get that.
I went to a comedy club. I went to a comedy club last night. I ate something was happening in front of me. I managed just fine. But I do understand.
I don't know. You should have seen it. It was more like.
Well,
arena
you didn't.
situation.
I didn't get an invite.
show you a picture.
I didn't get an invite. Maybe we would have drove down. You know, you never
It
know.
was far, but yeah, it was a good time. Let me just. I know people can't see this, but it was. You see like the white stage.
Oh my
and then
god,
the
that
row of
looks like
chairs. That's
that
where
looks
they
like
ate sushi.
it looks like if you're gonna watch like a public execution or something. It was like all
The lighting
red and
was
stuff.
intense, too.
Yeah, dude. Damn,
And
that's.
then, I guess
You should have started with that picture. I was picturing something. I didn't realize you had a picture of the thing. Audience, he had a picture the whole time. He was describing
I know,
it
I was
in
trying to
terms of.
describe it.
He was describing it in terms of the breeze he felt inside. Like that meant something to me, and he had a picture.
was big.
No. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It was, you know, when you're in a building and it's breezy.
And we were
Yeah,
like,
you talked about how
"Fuck, is
cold
gonna
it
be
was.
inside?"
I assumed it was outside because you'd mentioned how cold it was. We'll get there. We'll get your storytelling figured out. I went to
It was a good time.
I went to the Brea Improv with my brother and his wife and my wife to see comedian Josh Johnson last night. He's like he's my sister-in-law's favorite comedian. He's like one of the new Daily Show guys or something. And he's fine. He's very funny, but he like tells these long stories that are about like what's happening in the news, and like his thing is like he's released like 280 hours of stand-up comedy last year or something. And
Is
like
it like
he does because he's good,
the
and it's like
Rust technique?
jokes. No, it's like it's good, and it's like jokes and stuff, but he just tells stories, and he's really likable, and he's really sharp and funny. But it's not like weird jokes and stuff. Like I like we're going
you
to
saw
see
him?
Yeah, he's great. He's
Yeah, he
super
is
famous.
good.
He's like one of
Yeah.
the most famous comedians in the world right now. And he's my sister-in-law's favorite comedian. Like she's seen him a bunch. Like she saw him at a theater like a few months ago, and then we were at the Brea Improv. Well, no, because it's all different because he's constantly doing new stuff, and then he releases it. And like, here's the thing. As somebody who did stand-up comedy semi-professionally for a little over a decade, the goal of stand-up comedy is not how much can I release in a year. It seems like his goals are weird. Like I recommend working on an hour and like getting all the jokes so that there's a fucking massive laugh. Like, a dude that big with that many fans, and because of how his jokes are structured, he doesn't have it set up. And maybe it was just like a club set. Maybe it's different for theaters or whatever.
He's like working
but he doesn't have it set up so that there's a massive fucking applause break every like minute and a half. Like a comedian that famous with fans that are that ravenous for them, it should be like difficult for him to get his shit out because the audience is fucking losing their fucking minds at every punchline, you know. And it's a more conversational style. And
did he do what's it called, crowd work or whatever?
No, not really, which is great.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, dude. I like the fact that he did, like, he's legit. Like, you can tell that he's got this thing. He's got this thing figured out. He's able to, like, not extemporaneously, because he does lots of sets. So I'm sure the set he did last night was very similar to the one he did the night before. But he, like, releases so much material that it's just a different type of thing. It's more like being an orator. Like, he's more like Mark Twain. He's more like Mark Twain than he is like Patton Oswalt to me.
I've noticed that watching his stand up. He really gets like philosophical and like deep with his stories and the context of the jokes.
That's great. That's great. It's just like, in terms of, if like, I'm going to see Maria Bamford with them in May, and she's like the best living stand-up comedian, and she just fucking destroys. Like, I've seen her a bunch, like, in person, and you can't, it's like hard to like, it's like hard to figure out what's going on. You're laughing so hard. Like, it's almost distracting how funny she is.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And that's like more what I'm looking for in terms of a club, like a stand-up comedy club thing. But yeah, it's like, he's great. And if there's more comedians that are doing stuff like that, I find that super interesting. But like, it used to be a big deal that Louis C.K. would, like, you know, R.I.P. Louis C.K. He passed away recently. It's like when he used to release an hour every year, it was like a big deal. And I feel like this guy, Josh Johnson, is like, I don't care about old shit like that. I'm just going to constantly be releasing new stuff. And it's like, that's not the goal of being, to me, the goal of being a comedian. Like, I'm old school. It's like, I want to release like a good album and then like work on the next one, and that's just not how things are set up anymore, which is like kind of probably why I'm not really doing it, because you really like. And then I looked into this guy, and he's on the Daily Show, and B, he has like 3 podcasts, and then he has like a 4th podcast that's like a Daily Show branded podcast, and it's just like, Jesus Christ, dude, like that's just so much. Like, it really, like, nobody should have to work that hard. Like, you don't have to do that.
At that point, yeah.
Like, you don't,
like
the grind set, I hate that shit. Like, I look at somebody like Josh Johnson and I go, man,
dude, take a sec.
You're doing it's like so much. And he seems fine and like well adjusted and everything. And he fucking, you know, like, but god damn, it's just that it came out of that generation of social media comedian where you have to always be on your shit. And it's like, that's basically when I kind of stopped taking stand-up comedy seriously, because god damn it, that sucks doing that shit. I hate it.
A good analogy I always have, and I see this with up-and-coming musicians too, it's like they keep busting out singles and EPs, and they're good. They're not bad. It's just like, you clearly know what you want to do. Maybe just like take a second and just like put these 2 EPs together, or like try to figure out how to make an album rather than like pumping stuff into the algorithm. Maybe he's big, and
maybe
he's,
we're
like,
idiots.
still doing that.
Maybe those bands that are releasing their EPs,
that's the answer, right?
I don't have a bunch of successful EPs that I've released and thousands of people have downloaded. I have moderately successful stuff, but yeah. So who fucking knows? Who knows?
What you're saying.
I just know that I just want a lot of fucking punchlines, and when it's like, a more freeform story, there's just not as much. Like, the audience seemed confused as to whether or not they were supposed to do an applause break or just laugh.
Like, everybody's like leaning in and like intently listening.
Yeah,
and then
okay,
this is a conversation.
And
right?
it was really good. It was really good. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I laughed a lot, and it's hard for me to laugh at stand up a lot of the time, but. No, it was good, but we got to get into the episode because I got to take my cats to the vet. So here, let's start with the first segment.
Oh yes.
What does Al remember? On this week's episode of What Does Al Remember, I am asking you, Al, the titular Al of the segment.
Yes.
What do you remember about Star Trek, the original series, Season 1, Episode 6, Mud's Women?
Mud's Women. This was
Mud's Women.
Harvey Mudd, right? Harry Mudd.
Mudd.
We kept comparing him to Weinstein, though.
Also, I just realized Harry Mudd is a disgusting name. It's like Harry shit.
Gross. Yeah.
Like your shit has hair in it. It's like either your shit has a clump of hair in it or the shit has hair growing on it.
Both not good.
Mud, I guess. I don't know why I went from shit to mud, but anyway, what do you remember about Mud's Women?
I remember us being very surprised and happy at the editing skills at the beginning of the episode. Because I think the crewmen, they run into 3 different women in like 2 or 3 seconds. And there's like a lot of cuts and that like we really found entertaining. And then it turns out those women were robots. And then like Mud is controlling them against their will.
Well, but hold on.
Or was that the later episode?
That's the later episode. This is where they find Harry Mudd with his cargo of 3 women, and he's transporting them for brides on distant planets.
Jeez. But then, like, do they just let him go? Or how does it end?
Well,
I do remember they freak out at him about it.
What I think you're forgetting is remember when Harcourt Fenton Mudd, a.k.a. Harry Mudd. Remember when he was standing on a stage in front of a bunch of miners?
Yeah, that was the animated series.
Wait, what? No, it was this one. They go to a mining colony where Mudd sets about trying to arrange marriages for the women, interfering with Kirk's plan to buy crystals.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then Mudd gets in trouble with some other aliens and they threaten to blow up the ship.
Yeah, Mudd runs afoul.
What's it called? The ship needs dilithium crystals.
Yeah, yes.
One of the ladies has a necklace of crystals that just so happen to be dilithium crystals. And then they save the day with the crystals somehow.
Nope, that's not this one, I don't think.
Really?
I don't think that's this one because this one...
No, that one was the royal chick.
Yes, this is... So, here, let's go to the end. Let's go to Act...
mixing up all this mud.
I'm going to Act 4. Kirk, Spock, and Mudd beam down to the forbidding surface of Rigel 12. This is from Memory Alpha. And Childress finds Eve and brings her back to her quarters. Eve's beauty is the result of her own self-confidence. Childress is happy about that and asks her to stay and talk. Childress also humbly agrees to give Kirk the crystals needed for the Enterprise. Mudd asks to be left behind on Rigel 12, but Kirk turns this down, offering instead to appear as a character witness at Mudd's trial. Mudd ironically comments they'll throw away the key. So, this is where... you know what? There's nothing that says you need to successfully remember. You know, like it could just be like, hey, this one, like, because I didn't remember shit. I just picked the episode and I pull up these Memory Alpha things and they're so long. I just want to see like I want to see a 2-line description of each episode of each act that I don't have to write.
Too?
Yeah. So this is because I feel like I think maybe there was.
We see him in the animated series selling something.
Remember the lady's age. Remember? And so like age. They fucking Mud's the miners are like, you sold us women that got old. Hardcore Fenton Mud. You sold us women that done got old on us right away. Hardcore Fenton Mud. And that. Hold on.
What?
That's what Al remember.
The guy's just such a scumbag. But he ends up having 3 episodes.
At least.
Yeah.
And Discovery. Rainn Wilson. Dwight Schrute plays him in Star Trek Discovery.
So that's 4 appearances?
Yeah. And
he shows up twice in the original and then in the animated.
I'd have to watch the animated series Mud episode again. I do not remember it.
It was like a little short bit, and then it was it the Quibbles or Quimblies or whatever, the furry things?
So, first off, they're tribbles. It
was all over.
They're tribbles.
Yes, the tribbles.
And I think you know that. And no, Hardcore Fenton Mud isn't the tribbles guy. That's... Wait, did Hardcore Fenton Mud have... No, he wasn't the guy with tribbles in the Glommer.
No, he wasn't in the original series, no.
No, in the Glommer is from the animated series.
Right.
And that's Cyrano.
Still the same guy?
No, it's not Mud. That's Cyrano. They run into Cyrano again.
Show up there. Maybe
Mud
it
shows
was Cyrano then.
Maybe they're very similar. I feel like they could have been written as the same character. They're like alternate. Right. They're like alternate versions of the same character. And that's the end of that little segment. And now we're getting to the meat of this week's episode. We're going to be talking about season 2, episode 6 of Star Trek: The Next Generation. The title, not super PC. It's the Schizoid Man, and it was directed by Les Landau. I don't know if he's related to John Landau. I haven't looked. And this is Tracy Torme. Tracy Torme, with a story by Richard Manning and Hans Beimler. I love when we get a Tracy Torme episode. They're always something. This aired originally on January 23rd, 1989. And the synopsis from Paramount Plus is as follows. A brilliant but terminally ill scientist seeks eternal life by transferring his mind into Data's body. And that's pretty much what happens. It opens.
I feel like this is another episode proving Data is human.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And this opens with a medical doctor's log from our robo-racist medical doctor Pulaski. Also, it's like they made a Polish woman a racist. Come on. And now some goofball brilliant scientist named Graves sent out a plea for help, and the Enterprise is responding to that as they do. What's Graves' deal, Al? What's Graves do on his world that he has, his own world?
He just doesn't he just do scientific research, and he's like a super ultra genius?
Yeah,
so everybody on the Enterprise is like offered to help.
He does molecular cybernetics.
Oh, and that's right. That relates to Data because turns out I guess he had taught Data's creator.
Yeah, he knows Soong. Now, while Picard and them on the bridge are getting ready to go because Pulaski shows up to the bridge and they're like, we got to go to this Dr. Graves guy. Now, Geordi and Troy are walking to Data's quarters because Data has something to show them.
Oh, it's such a good bit. It's Data trying to be more confident in himself, but he has a beard.
Data has a beard. He's got a Riker-y beard, and it looks really fucking weird.
It's hilarious.
Jordy asked if Data damaged his face, and it's like, shut up, dude. He clearly has a beard. And Data's like,
what happened, Data?
Data goes, respect my dignified beard, motherfucker. And he says, when I stroke my beard thusly, do I not appear more intellectual? And it just feels like, yeah, Data definitely has emotions, and we can close the book on that.
Yeah, seriously. Especially with the movies and stuff too.
And then
it's just like they threw that whole notion away.
Right? While they are just before we get to the space, the final frontier, they get a panicked message from Graves' assistant, and she's like, fucking help! Help! And then
yeah, it's all really suspicious.
Act 1 begins. Now, they're beyond having to go to Graves' planet, right? They also now there's a transport ship asking for help as well. God, the Enterprise is just the belle of the ball out there in deep space, man. And there's they got 2012 colonists on, and there's an outer hull breach on this colony ship, and they've got to do touch and go warping to do a near warp transport to send an away team to the Graves planet and the rest of the team going to deal with the colony ship. So because they're going to split their resources. Now they don't normally do long range transport. So long range transport becomes a huge part of the J.J. Abrams series.
Yeah.
Because nobody had ever really done it. And it's technology from it's Khan.
They were freaking out about this. It was like so fantastical that you're able to transport onto a ship that's in light speed.
Well, not only that, but
and
that's light years away.
Absurd.
Like they transported to Kronos from fucking
too.
So
then it just gets really broken at that point. You're like, come on.
So basically, Geordi says, we can do, if we're traveling at warp, we can slow down for a second and we can beam people over to Graves World. We can go to the transport ship. After we take care of the transport ship, we pop over to Graves World. And so they sent a Vulcan doctor, Selar, because Pulaski wanted to stay and help with the colony ship. The away team that beams over there, they meet a blonde lady who's Kareen, and she sent Graves' distress call. And then Graves, this old motherfucker, comes in and he's like, I told you I didn't want you to call nobody. And this is who's on the away team. It's Worf, Troy, Data, and Selar, the Vulcan doctor.
Yeah, it's pretty standard, though, for somebody else to request help, medical help for someone that's older.
Well, you learn right away.
They're always so, stubborn, arrogant.
Yeah.
And you find out that this guy is a bigger asshole as time goes on.
You find out that he is, he's one of these guys that says he's healthy when he's actually going to die like tomorrow. You know the type. The type. And he tells the Vulcan doctor not to touch him. Then he says she's hot. Then he says Troy is hot. Then he says women aren't people, they're women. This guy,
that was weird.
This guy is a bit of a character, if I had to say so myself, and I do. And let me just pull up. So what does he tell them, Al? What does Graves, who has his own planet?
What?
What's going on after he ends up hitting on all the women and telling them that they're not women, and then he asks Worf if he's Romulan. Worf is not stoked when he gets to Romulan, but so basically, what's this guy's deal?
Isn't he not schizophrenic, but he's trying to preserve his life, isn't he?
Well, so this guy's got Darnay's disease. And he's the guy who taught Soong everything he knows. Yeah, which is fatal. And so he's basically been trying to put a human brain in a robot body. Like, that's what they know that he's been doing.
Yeah, and it's a bit like, Fountain of Youth kind of vibes. and it's like he seems to be more desperate now now that he's older. It's just one of those things they put in the back of their mind.
And this is important.
But it's like you could still tell.
This is important to the story and to the characterizations here because he goes, "You knew Dr. Soong?" And he goes, "I taught him everything I know, everything he knows, which kind of makes me your grandfather." And then so Data calls him Grandpa.
Awkward.
And he calls the Vulcan gorgeous. She says the disease is in its final stages. You're gonna die. And he smiles at the camera like, "I know something you don't know, and it's that I'm gonna put my brain in Data's brain, motherfucker."
I don't think. Well, he does. He thinks about it, but it's like the 2 and 2 come together once Data does the dumbest thing ever. I mean, he's like, "Hey, I know I barely just met you, but here's my off button.
Here's how you could kill me if you wanted, Tay. Hey, Grandpa,
I'd be dead.
Hey, Grandpa, you ever wonder how you kill a robot? Hey.
I was just like, it's for the sake of the plot.
So Act 2 begins with Picard and the Enterprise on their way to Graves World, and they're like, "Well, we took care of the colony ship. They had some injuries and they've been treated. And now we're heading to meet these scientists. The dying scientist wants Data to call him Grandpa. And Data says, "I have noticed, Grandpa, if I only had a heart." Plaintive lament by a mechanical man who wants to be human. Basically, this Graves guy is talking about he's referring to old musicals. He's talking about the Tin Man. And it's like Data is Data should have been able to pick up on what this guy's saying. And basically this dude's saying you're a robot. You can't know what desire is. And he pities Data for not knowing this stuff. He's like a dying man talking to a man who will never know death. The Vulcan doctor,
I'm just talking to a wall at this point.
Right? The Vulcan doctor gives the dude a week. And then Troy says the doctor is attracted to Kareen. And she's like, "If I had been older, I probably would have gotten on that goofball," which is disgusting.
Yeah, Kareen was like, "I mean, I do really appreciate him."
Well, so the whole time...
And if I was older, maybe. And I was like, he's just... I don't know.
He's your grandpa.
Only 2 people there.
He's your grandpa.
And he's your grandpa.
Sort of. He's Grandpa Graves, the robot builder. So
Deanna Troi, God, she's just always like, "I think he's attracted to you."
Well, he was attracted to fucking everybody there.
I know, right?
Now, while Troy and Kareen are catching up, Data and Graves are having more of a heart-to-heart. Graves says, "I used to be a real lady killer," and Data's like, "You would condone homicide?" And he's like, "God, dude."
And he's like, totally.
I love how Data is proving himself so machine-like in this because, Data wants to be human, but this scene is particularly showing him how not human he is.
Yeah.
And then this basically Graves is kind of manufacturing consent. Graves is basically like showing us, the audience, hey, Data's not even real. He needs a human soul. He needs a human spirit in there.
Well, and then like with the questions he's asking, he's like you're saying, he's kind of like egging him on into like, well, aren't you curious to see what feelings are like?
And he fucking says that he can transfer his intellect into a machine, and Data, thus cheating the Grim Reaper of his greatest prize, right? And so Data knows that this guy thinks this guy's going to die. He knows he's a great scientist, and he knows that he wants to put his brain in this computer on his desk. Right? It's the desktop. That's where he's going to put his brain, right? And after knowing all of this, Data tells him about his off switch. He's like, "Man, I'll tell you what, if anything, if anybody wanted to take over, if anybody wanted to put their brain in a machine, I'd be a real good option for that. Like, what the fuck?"
Yeah, I think it was the, I don't know.
Just where would Dr. Soong position such an off switch?
And Graves is just like, I don't know, from the get-go, obviously people think he's just some scraggly old guy, but he's a master manipulator, like with his words, like immediately from the get-go when he's like, I'm technically your grandpa. Call me grandpa. It's
he's
kind of lowering
building
defenses.
He's building this case for Data to let him in.
And then he's like, oh, I'm so miserable and I'm so sick. Oh man, if only there was a way, because I mean, I could already put my brain in this computer, and
but then I won't have like. But here's the thing, But here's the thing about this computer on my desk that I don't like. No cock. There's no cock on that computer on my desk. Now, Data, I bet you got a rod on you, buddy. Now, Data comes out into the room where Worf, Seelar, Kareen, and Troy are standing, and he says, "That will not be necessary, Doctor. For Dr. Graves is dead. He's gone."
They're like talking about him, and Data kind of intrudes. He's like, no, he died.
He's done. And so now Kareen is on the Enterprise, and Picard's going to help her get on with her life. And now here's
Starbase.
Here's the thing. If you know Data, and they do kind of suspect right away that shit's gone wonky with Data, but Data is like immediately acting very un-Data-like, you know?
Oh, for sure.
And you won't tell them exactly how the guy died, and Data immediately goes to hit on Kareen, right?
Yes. And honestly, it was just... He asks Picard a question again.
Oh wait, no! Before,
hey, how are we gonna bury, or are we gonna give Graves like a proper burial and all that? And Picard's like, I already said that. I already told you, Data. And it's like, Data doesn't need things repeated to him. Like, it's Data.
And also, Data seems super concerned about getting rid of that guy's body for some reason.
Yeah.
Now, when he's talking to Kareen, he says, Data's like, you know that Dr. Graves could never tell you that he wanted to fuck you, right? You understand that, don't you? Because he was so much older. And she's like, yes, I understand. And he's like, but he wanted to. Every waking moment, he wanted to get all up on you. And he wanted you to know that. So he told me, and then he died. His dying words were, I'm surprised he didn't go, his dying words were, have sex with Data. Now, they do a little funeral for Graves, and it's interesting.
And this is when it goes off, though.
So this is really weird because Graves is in a torpedo tube, right?
But it's getting transported.
But it's getting good. You saw where I was going with this, Al. Like, he's in a torpedo tube, but he's also being transported. So they're going to... And it doesn't look like him at all in there. Like, if you see... It looks like Guy Fawkes. Like, it doesn't look like him at all. They got him in like a suit that's got a hood. Like, it's like if you're going into a sterile room and he's in a torpedo and they're going to beam him out into space. And Picard's like, he was a great man anyway. We're dead. He's dead. Whatever. And Data's like, please allow me to speak. And then Data, if I had never...
He goes off.
Data does this big, grandiose speech about this guy being a warrior, a man, a scientist, a god, basically, for all seasons.
Like, maybe he cared too much for his fellow man.
So, and everybody's very suspicious of this. Geordi crosses his arms and frowns, and he only does that when shit is serious. Well, that's one of those things like a Geordi only acts like this when they're in distress.
And it's funny, too, though, because it's like as soon as, the speech starts off fairly regular, and then he just goes off into
he's really feeling himself,
of, loving him,
and he's smiling a bunch.
Who knew him, loved him, and their lives were so enchanged and enriched by knowing him.
To know him was to love him, and to love him was to know him. And here's the thing: anybody who's never met. And those who knew him loved him. Anybody who's ever met Data, like, even if I didn't know anything about these people in this room, I'd be like, oh, that motherfucker is the dead guy in a robot suit. I would just instantly be like, if I went to somebody's funeral and somebody gave them that kind of eulogy, I'd be like, that person has the soul of the dead guy inside of them. It's the only way. Now, Picard walks Kareen Graves away from the tube, and he kind of puts his arm on her shoulder. And when I saw that, I went, uh-oh, Data's not going to like that. And then he does it again. He puts his arm around her shoulder like to console her, and it looks very unnatural and weird. And then we do also get a good shot of the torpedo tube floating in space. And we must, I don't know, maybe we didn't make it clear for the audience. It's when you put somebody in a torpedo tube, the thing is, or a torpedo, you shoot them out of a fucking torpedo tube. You don't teleport, you don't transport them.
And I keep remembering, I'm like, yeah, we did definitely establish that in Star Trek 2, right? Or was it 2 or 3 when they shoot Spock out?
Yeah, that's how they fucking
like
bury people at sea. That's how they bury people at space sea. Now, after the funeral, when we get to Act 3, Data's hold on.
Picard's already suspicious, though, because of that weird speech.
Oh, yeah. So Data's
and he's
face...
like, look, I know you're trying to be more human, but you're kind of coming off as an asshole.
Picard and Data have a little one-on-one in Picard's office. He's like, what's up with your weird speech? Don't be such a tryhard with the human stuff. Like, be yourself. You know, just be Data. Just be Data. You know? And just in case you didn't know it was the scientist, like just in case you were a complete fucking dumbass watching this episode, when Data's walking down the hallway, he's whistling the If I Only Had a Heart song that the fucking doctor was talking to him about earlier. Wah, wah, wah. We're bringing it back together.
Yeah, he checks the chick out too.
Right? Oh, yeah. And he looks at he checks out the butt of a lady. He's like,
I don't know. It's just kind of like this look on his face that he just got away with it, you know?
Right? But there's so much more to happen. Now, Picard has an eyebrow raised about Data in Act 4, as he should. He says, could it be the grandfather analogy the Graves put in his head? Could the loss of Graves have triggered and touched him on an emotional level? And then he says, I hope that's all it is. And then it cuts to Data talking way down to Wesley. Like, I hate Wesley so much, especially since Will Wheaton is just like the dumbest fucking asshole online. And Picard even talks to Troy. He's like, do you sense anything? And she's like, no.
Yeah, she's like, no, not different, but Data is acting like an asshole.
Wesley and Data are walking onto the bridge, and Wesley's like, to know him is to love him? Man, your verbal composition was off the charts at its most sophisticated level. And then Data's like, your childlike mind would not understand the time-worn wisdom of my words. And then Riker's like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And he's like, at your age, you wouldn't understand. And he goes, I'm old. You're like 4. Data's like, Wesley's like, you're like 4 years old, dog. What the fuck are you talking about? And Data calls him boy. Data goes, try to remember that, boy. And then Riker is like smiling. This is such a great shot at 25:52. Yeah. Riker's like looking at Data like, look at this motherfucker. What is going on with him? And
it was kind of weird because like Riker loves dunking on Will Wheaton, but
yeah, and he also loves dunking on like Data.
Yeah, just especially from Data, and it just seems like a little more like what's going on, you know?
Oh, dude,
it's just more shocking.
Frakes is doing some great acting here when Data's like lover, scientist, historian. I'm all of these things. Kareen shows up on the bridge, and Data is just like immediately cutting Picard with dagger eyes. Like, I see you with this lady.
Yeah, but he's doing a human thing. He's like muttering under his breath and like talking shit about his superior, like right in front of him. He's like, yeah, you sure are interested in her.
Picard is like, what the fuck? And then Picard's like showing him around, and Data's getting real mad. And Wesley's like, Data, what the fuck's going on? And this is when Data challenges Picard. He goes, you want to fuck her, don't you bald bitch?
Yeah, and everybody's like,
whoa, you called him a bald bitch, Data? Go, dude. And so then basically Data accuses Picard of wanting to get Data off the bridge to remove the competition for Kareen.
It's just like, he could have been fine. Like, if Kareem just decided to be low
He could have been
chill and
he could have been chill.
Got over Kareem. Probably might have could have
Kareem,
gotten away with this, maybe.
Yeah, he definitely could have, but he's too human. He's all too human. He's all too flawed.
It feels like the episode when the Enterprise has those like race of aliens on board, and they took over the ship, and they're like, man, they want to be human, and it's like, what can they not handle that's human? They're like, oh, well, let's get them really drunk and get them really horny.
Yeah,
and then,
that's right.
They all just completely fall apart under that.
They just become the worst. The humanity just destroys their plans.
Yeah, and I feel like this is super reminiscent of Data.
So,
and he totally gives away like his hand, it seems.
Data and Picard is like, my ready room now.
Like, yeah.
And after they walk off the bridge, Troy says Data is exhibiting jealousy, and everybody's like, what? But he doesn't have human emotions. So Picard says, we're taking you to sick bay, and he's like, are you sick, Captain? Very funny shit. He's mad because Picard is so much older than Kareen, just like Graves. So he's like, oh, Kareen, you want to fuck this old bitch, but you won't fuck me? What the hell? She doesn't care for older men or men of limited intellect, he says. Wow. Graves
but
says,
it's so funny, though.
At this point, Graves isn't even trying to pretend to be Data.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's like he's fully taken over and believes that his what is it? His ploy went on for so long that he'll be all right.
And
but it's funny too because he keeps complaining to Data, and Data's just like, Captain, are you ill? Are you sick?
Dude, he's such an asshole.
Like, I'm fucking getting there.
And then Data even says, Captain, if you want to apologize to me, I'm willing to accept your apology. It's pretty fucking great. Now,
oh, yes. And then the scene, sorry, one last thing. It really ends really well with, so Picard's just worried, and he's like, look, Data, I don't know what's going on, but something's going on with you. We need to do like a physical self-diagnosis or something. And Data's like, yeah, I'll go ahead and do it real quick.
I just did it right now.
And he just like blinks.
Shit's fine.
He's like, I'm completely fine. Everything's good. And Picard's just like, I've known you, Data, for your entire life. And for the first time, I don't believe you. And I was like, finally.
Yeah, he says, I don't believe
scary.
You. Stone-faced Data cut to Geordi with a computer-generated or animated halo around Data's head. And Data's like rolling his eyes and shit. He's like clearly not fucking Data.
Yeah, he's pushing it. Like really pushing it.
Can't find anything wrong with him. Data leaves. Now...
well, I mean, I guess that was a physical, right?
Yeah. But now they're going to they're going to basically check on his what we call engrams from other Star Trek stuff.
That's
basically.
Right.
So they have a little patch that they put on a Starfleet officer's forehead that like monitors their engrams, emotions, brainwaves, whatever the fuck, right? And even though Data is a robot, he has this stuff that they can measure, which is kind of weird. And so
it's interesting.
And so she says, I'm going to ask you these questions or show you images. You're going to respond, and we're going to compare it to your baseline from when you entered the academy.
Because everybody took this test initially when they came in.
Yep. And so they start showing him a bunch of images. They show him images of Doctor. They show him the ship. They show him crazy fires. They show him Kareen. They show him people kissing. They show him Troy. They show him Yar. So they're showing him stuff that would be emotional for both Data and Dr. What's his ass Graves, which is interesting because did they already think Graves might be in there? Did I skip over something? Because
no, I don't think so.
Like, why would they
include
that
they
stuff?
Still think that Graves affected him. Like Geordi is
because he's grandpa. That's right.
He's like, hey, maybe him seeing Graves dying kind of fucked him up and like is messing with his human emotions if he had them.
And this is when Troy charges in, because Troy is doing her psychological evaluation of Data at the same time Picard and Geordi are talking about his physical evaluation. And Troy comes in and says, there's a problem with Lieutenant Commander Data. There are two distinctly different personalities, dominant and recessive. Picard says he's an android. How is that possible? And it's like, oh, I don't know. Maybe he encountered a scientist that's been trying to do that very fucking thing for his whole goddamn life.
She just goes, I don't know, dude. It's happening.
And then she says, not only that,
to tell you.
not only is this shit that we do not understand happening, but the dominant personality is unstable. Whoops.
Yeah, and he's taking
and
over.
He's super
stronger.
And he's Data. He's superhuman strong.
Right. She was like, the Data we know is a recessive one.
Yep.
Whereas this asshole's the dominant one, and we'll lose our Data forever.
Yeah, don't.
It's like a whole dun dun dun. I don't know. It just feels really weird. I think it's like, this was the 90s?
This was 89.
I guess they were still introducing like multiple personalities and crazy psych behaviors like that to the public. I mean, what's your take on that?
That shit's been around for a while, I think, in movies and stuff, TV, books and shit. But yeah, this is like definitely a trope from not just science fiction, but also like soap operas and horror movies. And, so there's a lot of precedent for it outside of like TV.
Surprised.
That's what I'm
thinking.
Well, they're often surprised by tropes, which is funny. Well, you'd think they wouldn't be. You'd think they'd be like, well, actually, it seems like this kind of shit happens all the time in Starfleet.
Did this happen to Kirk?
Yeah, there's
twice.
Yeah, people have had all kinds of stuff. And then that's just one ship. You got like that's when you think about like the Cerritos, the lower decks ship. There's all these ships having their own adventures out there, getting all fucked up all the time. And so yeah, it definitely was becoming a popular trope in media. I think Brian De Palma's Raising Cain was before this, maybe, which is John Lithgow starring R.I.P. John Lithgow. He's also passed away. He did that Harry Potter series. It's so sad that he died on the set. And so now we get Data is going to go put it all on the line with Kareen. And he basically straight up says, you know who I am. I'm alive. I transfer my mind, my feelings, my dreams. And also Picard's mad because he ordered Data to stay in his quarters and he immediately went to 10 forward to pick up on a lady.
It's just funny too how like this whole ship is completely stable and disciplined purely through like the trust and the respect they have for each other. I don't know, Picard's just like, just go to your room. And then like the fact that there's no security coming after him, Data just does whatever he wants and keeps doing it. Like you think that
if you ordered somebody to go to their room, you'd think that if they left their room, the computer would tell you, "Hey, that guy that you ordered to stay in his room, he just broke core. He broke core."
And it's interesting, but it's also like they bring up that issue too with those. Remember the time travelers at the end of season 1, and the businessman's like, "Why do you have executive cards?" And Picard's like, "Because we don't expect people to dick around with our stuff."
Right? Well, yeah, what the hell are you talking about, dude? We're like a society of people that are chill. Now,
so it's like it just goes to show how like tight everybody is.
This is where that this doctor that put his brain in Data is like a kooky asshole, right?
Yeah.
But this is where things get extra kooked up because, and I hadn't even thought of this. Right? So he goes to Kareen and he's like, "Oh, Kareen, we can be together now. I'm young, girl. Oh man, I got this robot body, baby. Let's fucking rock it." And then this is where shit gets stupid. Like this is where he goes, he goes, hey, you know, I got this robot body. Plus, I'll build an android body for you and put your brain in it. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. No. You love her, right? You don't want an android body of her. I thought the whole purpose of this. And that's when you're like, oh, okay, well, it doesn't matter if we save this guy now. Like, you know, up until this point, he's a crazy guy that was dying. And she says, I want you to let me live my life.
Yeah,
he doesn't like that.
Please leave me alone. And then she's like, you're hurting me. Stop holding my hand.
Yeah, that's right.
And
he doesn't know his own
crushes
strength.
Her hand, and
that's
he's like,
right.
Oh, whoops.
He injures
and he starts
her.
walking away, and you know, of course, Worf is on it.
Right,
She's like, "Hey, Data freaked you out. Let me call Picard."
Now,
it was just so, I don't know. Like, you're right. You're kind of rooting for him. It's like, oh, it's pretty romantic that he decided to like sacrifice himself and all this, and then he like shifts it into this master race thing, and you're like,
yeah,
no,
we can become robots, and then once we make it's like, remember that episode of the animated series with the giant Spock?
Yeah,
it's like that. Like, he's like, we can make bigger. We can, not only can we make android bodies, but they can be 25 feet tall and shoot lightning out of their teeth. What are you fucking talking about? And this is where things kind of turn for old Dr. Graves, because Picard, the jig is up. Picard goes to Data in the engineering room. And this is where Graves is like, I heard you coming, Picard. My ears are better than an average dog's, you know? And Picard wants to talk to Data. He's not going to let him. And then he goes, there's no question of who must live and what must die. He's like, I must live and Data must die. And it's just like, come on, man. And this guy thinks Data's not a person. He's like, Data, are you seriously fucking saying Data? Before me, he was nothing, man. Before me, Data couldn't feel shit, bro. Before I came into Data, like, Data was just a tin man without a heart, dude. And then I made him a person. And it's like, no, man, you took everything away from him. You took his individuality and replaced it with your own. Everybody's very racist to robots.
To help you. But it's like,
yep. Without heart. He says, without heart, a man is meaningless. And then
Picard's like, yeah, it doesn't matter though if like you're a shitty person. I don't like, who cares if you have a heart at that point? And then you're still being a piece of shit.
And then Picard is like, I'm gonna come up there and fucking slap you out of Data, motherfucker. And he's like, I don't think you're gonna like coming up here. And then he sees that Geordi
it's crazy.
Picard comes up there. What's he find? What's he see? What's he see when he gets up there, Al?
Geordi knocked out.
Oh my God, Geordi's knocked out. What the fuck?
And he's just like, not a violent man. I don't know. It's another trope, you know, when like the villain who thinks he's doing the right thing for the right reasons, he's like, oh, you're just in my way. I mean, get out of my way or I'll push you over. And he like kills like 7 people. And he's like, oh my God, I mean, they were all in my way though.
Yeah, he says, this is not my fault. Geordi was in my way. And then Picard's like, look, man, nobody can say that what you did isn't rad. You know, Picard's like, hey, buddy, look.
Yeah, seriously.
Nobody's going to tell you that putting your soul in a robot body is like not cool. Like not like cool in terms of scientifically, but look what you did, man. You fucked Geordi up. You're going to hurt other people. You hurt Kareen. You know, we can Miss Pulaski. Then Pulaski conferences in and says Kareen's hands are broken.
Yeah, it got broken into places. Jeez.
Oh man, and
he's
so
like, "Look, when is it gonna end? Who's next?"
those were all accidents, Data says. I did not intend. And Picard, how many more accidents? You must leave this body. He punches Data, fucking punches Picard. Oh my God, what a great dinger.
Yeah.
So a security team comes up, right? Or no, that's Geordi on the floor. Okay. So Picard says, no man can usurp another's rights. Set him free. Data says no, does a wild backhand stage swipe. And Picard like goes, oh, and like he turns and then he bonks his face against, like, they should have brought a professional wrestler in to direct him on stage. And then Data realizes, or Dr. Graves realizes, how many more accidents? I could have killed this bald bastard.
Yeah, he's like, how much more am I gonna sacrifice? Like, do I really care this much? And I'm always just gonna be running. I don't know. It's like, it's not a catch-22, but it's.
Well, he's right.
Like,
How many more people am I going to have to hurt?
Right?
And then I'm going to live forever and just hurt people forever,
exactly.
perpetually being a guy that just backhands bald people.
And then I have to worry about what happens if Data gets old in a bajillion years.
Right.
Like his circuits wear out.
How do I?
Do it again.
Well, he's a scientist. He can figure that out.
Yeah, true.
And he's got
still, it was just
Data's
like,
positronic brain.
Constantly thinking and being on the run, like, isn't a good way to live.
So then,
I don't know.
Picard comes to and he goes, "Where's Commander Data?" The ship locates him. Picard, Kareem, Geordi, and maybe Riker or Worf or somebody. They go to where Data is laying on the floor. Data wakes up and he goes, "I have a question." And they go, "What is it?" And he goes, "Why am I on the floor?" And then Data starts asking other questions, and Picard's like, "I've heard enough. He's Data. Shut up, Data."
He's like, okay, he's back. And
what's the twist?
They both look at the computer, Kareem and Picard, and they're like, "What's going on with the computer?" And Kareem looks at it, and she's like, "Ira's in there, the computer."
So now this, and
they're like, "Huh?"
And it's funny because they explore this later in Discovery. They get a sentient computer in the ship, right?
Yeah, but then don't they? They make a point though of saying like his knowledge is in the computer, not his consciousness.
Oh, right. So it's just like all of his files.
Kind of made that separation.
It's like all of his brain files, but none of the wanting to have sex with you. Don't worry. The ship. Don't worry, Kareem. The ship isn't going to try to have sex with you.
No, what was the other episode too? There was
the ship is like, "You bald bitch,"
dying and going into the Enterprise, right?
Maybe I can't remember.
And then Jack the Ripper takes over the Enterprise because he leaves.
Oh, yeah. Jack the Ripper goes into the Enterprises. He leaves Scotty's body.
Yeah.
So,
God, that was such a wild episode.
At the end on the bridge, Data's like, "Perhaps it's best that I don't remember. I trust I did nothing unbecoming of a Starfleet officer." And Picard is like, "Well, you did backhand a few of your coworkers." And that is the Schizoid Man. So obviously the title is a reference to schizophrenia. I don't think that we would say a schizoid. It doesn't really
have much to do with it. I mean, like maybe like the paranoid man.
No, Data is technically at the definition of schizophrenic at the time. That's what it's definitely an insensitive title. It's definitely an insensitive title. So what did you think, Al?
This was solid. I just feel like it was a lot of fluff to get a single point across, which is like, hey guys, Data is human.
Right? Not only is he already is human.
I would have loved more scenes of Data talking to Graves instead of Data being manipulated. That would have been nice.
Graves really turned it up. Like Graves, when Graves asked him, like, "So you're a robot?" Graves is like, "So you're a robot, right?"
Yeah. It's just like too quick, but I mean, I guess it's like he was gonna die soon, so that just attributes to like his desperation and shit. I don't know. It was just interesting because it's like for an Enterprise Star Trek episode, like the crew really isn't involved too much. It's just about Data, Kareem, Graves, maybe
It's a very
Picard
small
too.
story.
Yeah. But I think that's what makes it so, I don't know, it's strong. I guess it's like there's really good character development.
Yeah, it's a good, I was going to say, it's a good character-driven story, yeah.
And it's, I don't know, it's not like, I like when episodes aren't just so zany and wild. I mean, I guess the zaniest thing here is like this guy moved his consciousness into Data, but it kind of leveled out science fiction wise when like Deanna Troi finally explains to the audience that it's like, oh, this is multiple personality. And
yeah, it's something we'd already figured out.
Super scientific. It's not like he just took over and like, you know, dragged his user into that file. It's like still, it's weird because people want to, like the writers want to make it like this easy computer analogy. But then at the same time, like you can't have like these crazy deep stories without Data just being a human, you know?
Yeah.
So it's this weird concept of like, oh, he's a robot, but it's not quite exactly how it happens to a robot.
Yeah.
And that, I don't know. It's really cruel. Like I watched a Twilight Zone episode about someone who makes robots for the Spaceball team. And like the league finds out and this referee's like trying to define what makes a human man a man. And the robot scientist is like, I can just put a heart in him. If that's all that it takes, you know, I could just put a heart or I could just put a simple brain. And it's like, it's a really interesting question of like what makes humans. And like that question's so big, you know, so
Data's the sum of his experiences.
In a bunch of episodes.
He's a person. A person is the sum of their experiences is like the thing, the trope. I liked it. I thought that there was a lot of very funny stuff. I thought that the character actor who played Graves is like a funny creep. He was great. But yeah, I thought it was a good episode, not a great episode. I do like when they let Brent Spiner like off the chain and he gets to act like out of Data's characteristics. But so we're coming up on time here. What's your rating, Al? How many possessed data heads do you give this?
This is very middle of the road. Like I would probably just give it a 3 out of 5.
Same. I think
something I would recommend people to watch, but it's definitely not like whoa, this is great. This isn't like,
it's a little heavy-handed.
There isn't.
There's better.
It's not that good.
And there's better episodes, I think, that tackle Data's humanity.
For sure.
So
this felt more like villain of the week kind of deal.
Yeah, with the studying Data's humanity draped over it. And so Al and I, let me record the scores here for posterity. Al gave it a 3 and I gave it a 3. There you go. That's our discussion of the Schizoid Man. I forgot to say this is episode 152 of the podcast. Pretty cool.
Hey.
Now, that brings us to our final segment of the show.
Oh, yes.
Captain, Adam and Al are recommending things. I repeat, Adam and Al are recommending things. I'm going to keep mine easy. I'm going to recommend, if you haven't been watching Fallout, go check it out. The season finale happened a couple weeks ago. It is pretty good. It's a very fun, good, well-made show. The thing that I'm constantly impressed by is the special effects. It's like got really good CG where it doesn't look like shit, which is what I often expect from particularly like streaming television, you know? But it's very good. So watch Fallout. I never really played the games, but I like the show. What have you got for us, Al?
Well, I recently decided to run through the Fast and Furious series.
Oh, I did that a couple years ago.
They're like...
Did you watch them all already?
No, we're on 9. But like from 1 to 7, I was genuinely entertained. There's some duds, but like 7 felt like Avengers Endgame. Like,
so
was big.
Here, let's stick to the recommendations of the Fast and the Furious movies. Which one would you recommend?
I was gonna say 1 to 7.
Oh wow, all of it. What's your favorite of those 7?
Probably just 7 because it's just like a compilation of like all that crap.
Is that the one where they're pulling the giant fucking safe?
That's
where
the
him
safe
and The
one.
Rock are pulling the safe on the bridge?
That's the safe.
So
that one's ridiculous.
9 has my favorite shit they ever did in the series in it. Have you watched it yet?
I'm halfway through.
Okay, you're halfway through.
After 7, they start to get schlocky. It's like,
do you know what the end goal with
I don't
what's their
remember,
names?
no.
No. The specifically the characters played by, oh my god, I'm blanking on.
It's starting to feel like a TV special, you know, because it's like, oh, we got a new actor that wants to be a part of the series, or like, oh, we got a new trope or a new villain.
Fast 9.
And it's like the team versus blank. You know, that's what these movies start to
Ludacris
feel like,
and Tyrese. Do you know what they're doing yet? Do you know what their whole deal is yet? Okay, that's the best shit that happens in all of the Fast and the Furious
they
movies.
Just get so crazy.
You don't even know,
and
though.
It's like,
what do you think?
Out with
No,
drag
stop.
racing.
What's the craziest thing you think they could do? What's the craziest
I've
thing?
heard, like, space gets involved.
Okay,
There's,
never
like,
mind.
satellites.
Yeah, dude. So
I've
just
heard
watch the rest of 9. It's very
Oh my
good.
God. It's like they're in on the joke, you know, sort of.
No, it's
and
good.
like Vin Diesel's like completely producing. This is his life now. Like Tyrese, I'm sure, is in there producing. That's his life now. I guess 7 I'd recommend the most because it's like, especially if you watch all the ones prior and Tokyo Drift too, it just feels like a nice culmination of like all their work. It just feels like a very nice Infinity War Endgame kind of thing. So just like watching 8 and 9 is like, dear Lord. And then we looked up, I guess 11 is supposed to be their last one, but
we'll see. So you're recommending Fast and the Furious 1 through 7.
Yes.
I'm recommending
Yes.
Fallout. Come back next week when we are going to discuss Unnatural Selection. And thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
152. Trek in the Valley is brought to you by Adam Ordall-Quinnell and Al Hirt. The theme was produced by Al. The episodes are engineered by Adam. You can email the podcast at trekinthevalley@gmail.com, or you can search for us on Bluesky and Facebook as Trek in the Valley and follow us over there. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, whatever you do on your podcast apps. It really helps us out. And never forget, always explore strange new fucking worlds.